Hello guys, we are going to get started quickly. Quickly. Just want to say, if you have any fic recommendations, please let me know down in the comments. With that said, let's get started. My bad, sorry about that. If you hear my cat meowing, please ignore him. This is Tea in a Bar by Atia Blackcharm. Chapter 5 Waking Up Warm. Summary Morning Midoriya. Warning: description of Izuku having flashbacks and emotional distress. It's it's a male cat. Please just ignore him. Okay, on to the story. Pause. The whole time while he was sleeping, the kid had been on top of him. Dobby had attempted a few more times to escape during the night, but failed each time. He simply accepted his fate and entertained himself by messing with the green curls on the kid's head. He was careful, though, not to get any stuck on his staples. It could be a bitch to get the things out of there without making him bleed. Sorry. Cats, I cannot deal with them at the moment. Hush! Stop getting in my bowl. It was early in the morning when Dobby saw Midoriya start to wake up. The sun had yet to rise. He was a little surprised that the kid would wake up so early, but as he looked at Midoriya's face, the dark circles, he figured, it was probably normal for him. When the green eyes looked up at him, Dobby expected Midoriya to spring off of him in a hurry, but instead, they just looked at him. There was barely any reaction from him. "Morning, Princess," Dobby said. The comparison that Toga had made was stuck in his mind. Maybe that would get a reaction from the hero student, but he got none. The damn kid just looked at him with a blank face. Oh, not my eyes that somehow looked tired, and said, "Morning, Dobby." It it was completely normal, like it was completely normal to wake up in a villain's lap. "Oh, is Izuku-kun awake?" Dobby saw Midoriya's eyes move to look at Toga, who plopped down next to him on the couch. Dobby smirked. "Yeah, Princess finally woke up from their slumber." "Princess?" Midoriya asked while Toga beamed. "Yeah, Izuku-kun. When Dobby carried you, you looked like a princess. It was super cute." It was an interesting sight to see Midoriya smile slyly and look back up at him. "Does that mean you're my knight in shining armor, or are you the villain who stole me away?" Dobby laughed. For I think I'm more fit for the villain role, for the role of the villain, to be honest. I think the armor would be uncomfortable." Dobby was surprised to see a thoughtful look cross Midoriya's face. "Yeah, You're right. Armor isn't the most comfortable, and kind of limits your movement along with stealth. I wish Ida would have thought of that. Thought about that already. Before Dobby could answer, Spinner laughed, rang out in the bar. Dobby saw the others come in. None of them were particularly deep sleepers and consistent with the amount of sleep they got. So it was no surprise to see everyone awake. Kirigiri, the longest, considered his con his constant mannering of the bar and cleaning glasses. Where's the young hero? Spinners hung off the back of the couch and looked down at Midoriya. Still on Dobby's lap. He's awake now, though. The next person to come from the back of the couch and look down at Midoriya was Compress. Well, hello there. Midoriya smiled. Hello. Look, looked looked up. A man wearing a black, black, a blackava, not a black, a balaclava mask. His mask he wears. The black part of it, though. Even with the mask, Izuku could see the man. The man had hazel eyes and a pointed nose. Midoriya knew that it was Compress, and the way he smiled at, and the way and he smiled at being able to see his face, even if he couldn't see the man's hair. Hello, he said to the musician. Compress smiled at him, and his hazel eyes flicked to Dobby before returning to him. Young hero, are you aware that you're resting on a villain? Specifically Dobby, which I can't imagine is very comfortable. Izuku left out a huff of amusement at the way Compress spoke. I'm aware, Izuku said, and a flash of amusement crossed Compress's face. Dobby cracked an eyebrow. Then why don't you move? Oh, sorry. Dobby quirked up an eyebrow. Then don't you want to move? Izuku shrugged from his laying position. Nope. Oh, quite a bold young man you are, Compress said, and brought a hand to hang above Izuku. Then a moment, then in, then in the next moment appeared a blue marble that had been there before among the man's fingers. It was a smooth, pretty thing. I shall gift you this for providing a very entertaining show last night with Mr. Dobby, and for continuing to be so entertaining even before dawn had broke for the new day. Will you stop messing with my blanket? Hello. Sorry. Compress said, before dropping the marble at that Izuku caught easily. Izuku brought the marble closer to look at it, and it was pleased how it seemed to shine. He brought out of his thoughts when Dobby chuckled. Of course, Compress would thank you for trapping me to the couch last night. Trapping you? Spinner pushed Dobby's head out of the way with a big smile to answer Izuku's question. Yeah, we were trying to wake you up. But you were... Yeah, but you were... Oh my god. I'm starting out over. Oh yeah, we were trying to wake you up. But you weren't. And then Dobby started poking you a lot. And while he was doing that, you actually grabbed him. We couldn't get you, we couldn't get you to let go of them, even when he took he took you to the couch. So that's why he's still here. And Spinner was cut off when Dobby pushed 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 his face away. Yeah, so you trapped me here by clinging to my goddamn arm, my god, my goddamn hand, like it belonged to you. Oh well, it's because you're warm and comfy. It helps my hands. Izuku said simply. While Izuku could hear snickers from Shigaraki and Toga, Dobby looked at him dumbly. What? Izuku brought up a scarred hand and turned it. He used his other hand, it finally letting go of Dobby, and ran his fingers along his crooked fingers. Izuku thought of the warmth he felt while he was sleeping, and how it chased away the aches. Green eyes met turquoise. Then when he spoke, heat helps. Heat helps with the aches in my hands. You're warm, Ego. You make the chronic pain in my hands go away. That's probably why I didn't let go. Not often I sleep without pain. All heads whipped in Midoriya's directions when they heard him explain. Dobby remembered how Toga had grabbed his hands and told him that Midoriya was hurting. Kirigiri and Compress thought about how the green-haired boy hold the teacup with both hands and looked content. Shigaraki remembered how the scarred hand had played with his hair. Spinner and Magne realized why Midoriya had not let go of Dobby. Does it really hurt you? Does it hurt you really badly, Izuku-kun? Toga asked with a clear concern in her voice. They saw as Midoriya waved her off. There are good days and bad days. He paused. Would appreciate. I would have appreciated a heads up from Recovery Girl. Hang on. Would have appreciated a heads up from Recovery Girl about oh my gosh. Oh my god. Would appreciate the heads up from Recovery Girl about the pain, but I'm sort of managing now. Dobby here is being a big help, funny enough. Despite the tone of his words, there was no happiness on Midoriya's face. Instead, there was bitterness and resignation. This kid was in pain, and somehow he found comfort in a villain. It was an odd thought to think about. It was a few more minutes that Midoriya had looked up at Dobby and said, You know, you're no longer trapped by me, so if you want to get up, you can. The realization swept across Dobby's face before Midoriya started laughing, even as Dobby quickly the kid, the, pushed the kid's head off his lap and quickly got up quickly. And I muttered, finally, finally can use the fucking bathroom, could be heard as Dobby made his way towards the 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 designated designated room. I don't know. Dobby, not Dobby. Toga joined Midoriya's laughter. When she was done, she hovered over Midoriya's face. From his angle, she must have been looking upside down. Do you want breakfast, Do you want breakfast, Izuku-kun? The boy in question seemed a little surprised at the question, but he responded, "Yeah, that'd be nice." The hour or so was filled with everyone requesting different food items from Kirigiri, as the poor man was was the one getting them food. Although the misty villain seemed to be in a better mood when Midoriya thanked him. Midoriya, would you like tea when I return?" Kirigiri asked before leaving. Midoriya seemed to beam at the offer and nodded his head yes. With that, off Kirigiri off Kirigiri went to procure breakfast for a group of villains and a hero student they kidnapped. Twice went to talk to Shigaraki. "Hey boss, what do we do with the kid?" "We should kill him. We should kill him. He hasn't gave us any useful information." Shigaraki sighed. "We aren't going to kill him twice. The kid is useful and important to UA. Then why shouldn't you ask him questions?" "Kill him." Tomura rubbed at his eyes and resisted the urge to scratch at his neck. Twice was right. He should be asking questions. But he doubted whether the kid would give him important information to use against the heroes. So he should kill him. Torture him for answers? No, that didn't feel right. After all, when he decided to kidnap the boy, it was sort of a whim. The league had been getting angsty and tensions had gotten high. He had actually hoped more of a fight, actually something to let loose, but the whole plan was thrown away once Midoriya had said hello. Was he mad about it? No, not really. More confused, and some reason concerned. It was an odd feeling. Shigaraki turned to look at Midoriya, who was watching Toga now draw in his notebook. "Midoriya, the boy, Midoriya," he called. The boy turned to look at him. "Yeah, Shigaraki? You're not going to give me information to use against the heroes, are you?" he asked. For some reason, Izuku smiled, um, for some reason, the smile Midoriya sent towards Shigaraki looked sad. No, I won't. I'm not going to help you bring any heroes down. Unless it's Endeavor. Then maybe I could give you some info to give him some trouble." "Endeavor?" "Yeah, the guy is absolutely, an absolute flaming dick. That's damage, causes more damage than the villains he goes after," Midoriya said, using air quotes. Oh no. Ugh, lost place. Midoriya said, using air quotes around the word villains. Cherokee smiled at the description, and so did Dobby. Honestly, he's a bad example of a hero who doesn't know the difference between a scared civilian that had an accident with a quirk and a killer. He chases and burns both with zero hesitation and consideration. The damages he does to public and private property is ridiculous. A, a simple robbery could end up with someone's grocery store catching on fire. The man is a walking fire hazard, too proud to turn off flames that make civilians uncomfortable. Honestly, I just want to dump a cold bucket of water on the man to make that fucking mustache beard thing disappear. And don't get me started on the treatment of his family. Midoriya clenched his fist, and the others in the bar stopped smiling when they heard the anger in Midoriya's voice. A hero, a hero should know how important family is, but Endeavor, he treats them like they're tools, only to be discarded when they have no use. Midoriya practically spit out um spit out that last part. The bar, the silence The silence in the bar was suffocating, and Midoriya suddenly sprung up and looked around at everyone. Serious faces. They saw something akin to fear in those green eyes. Shit, fuck, sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'll just go. Midoriya got up and started heading towards the bathroom, but he was stopped when Dobby placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. Midoriya seemed to freeze in place. Magne, who was off to the side, saw how wide-eyed, oh my god, how wide Midoriya's eyes went. Kid. Midoriya flinched but didn't move away. He he seemed he seemed he didn't seem to move at all. That wasn't a rise or a fall movement of his chest. When Dobby's eyes, I fur Dobby's Dobby furrowed his eyebrows and pulled away his hand, noting how the tension in Midoriya went, and how the boy seemed to breathe again. Don't you remember? We're villains. Don't apologize for talking shit and the truth about heroes. You aren't the one. Weren't you the one that told us that if anyone would actually listen, it would be us? Dobby asked in a teasing tone. When he saw Midoriya nod, Dobby grinned and nudged Midoriya forward. Alright, now go to the bathroom. I'm pretty sure you'll I'm pretty sure you need it. I'm pretty sure you need to use it, so go. When they heard the click of the bathroom door close, they finally spoke. You all saw that, right? Magne asked, the way the way that he got heated enough about Endeavor and then freaked out sorry, yeah. Freaked out when he realized he did and tried to run away. The way he seemed the way he froze like a scared animal when Dobby touched his shoulder. Yeah, I think we all saw that. Spinner said, it seems like the young man would thought we would hurt him after his little tangent. Compress said, even though he did indeed inform us before that we would be the ones to actually listen to such a thing. For a moment, I don't believe he was seeing us. Didn't Izuku-kun say that he was hurt by others a lot for saying less less things, for things less than talking about heroes. Yeah, he did. Shigaraki said, still looking in the direction that Midoriya had went. Well, that's fucked up, Dabi said, taking a seat at the bar. If anything, I completely, I completely agree with the kid's criticism of the so-called number two hero. He completely froze up when I touched his shoulder, creeped me out because nothing before fazed him, but that made him stop fucking breathing. What the fuck happened to him? Izuku tried to calm his breathing in the bathroom, but it was like the breath was caught in his throat. His lungs suddenly forgot how to do their job. He looked in the mirror and hated the tears he started to see form, and angrily wiped them away. Izuku pushed his hands um, against his eyes, willing, willing the tears to stop, even though he knew it would be useless. He sat He set his elbows in the bathroom sink and rested his head in his hands. Tears slipped through his fingers and fell into the sink. His throat gated, and he screamed through clenched teeth, although not loud enough to be heard by the bar's occupa- um, occupants outside. God, how could he be so stupid? How could he forget that he wasn't at his old high school? That Shigaraki, Toga, and the others weren't his old classmates. They weren't his old teachers. Hush! Um, he knew that they wouldn't have been mad at him at ranting at to them about Endeavor, but he was caught up. His thoughts were going back to Todoroki, hearing the way his father spoke to him, how closed off and angry to- Todoroki had been, enough to cut himself half of his abilities. Izuku remembered how remembered how Endeavor spoke to him, poking at the connection that All Might had to poking at the connection to All Might and reiterating the fact that Izuku wasn't Izuku. He he was standing in for All Might, someone who so, someone for Todoroki to beat. Never mind his own dreams or um arbitration, as if that mattered. The anger overwhelmed him, muddied his thoughts and his vision. He forgot who he was with, and saw their faces. He didn't see them anymore. The He saw the faces of the other kids in his middle school, his teachers, and his teachers. He saw the faces of disgust and anger they had whenever he opened his mouth. He saw their gritted teeth and furrowed brows after he criticized any hero. He saw the faces and heard the echoes of insults that were being thrown at him as a group of kids held him down and beat him until he couldn't breathe. All all because they didn't like what he had to say. All because he had poked holes in their perfect image of heroes. God forbid he talk about All Might. He could feel He could feel the stings of cuts he had gotten that day after school. He could feel the sting of slaps that his teacher had given him in class, saying, "How dare you speak about All Might that way, or any hero at all? Your kind has no place to say anything about them. You should learn to keep quiet. No one wants to hear such a ridiculous, disgusting thing from a quirkless boy. It's an insult." When Dobby had set a hand on his shoulder, the warmth, uh, the warm, the warmth longer felt comfortable, no longer felt comforting. Instead, it was too hot. He could hear the phantom pops of Bakugo's quirk. He could smell the smoke of the blonde burning his uniform and skin, all while he couldn't move, gripped too tight, too hot. But Dobby wasn't Bakugo. He had removed his hand. He spoke to Izuku in a light, teasing tone, not a loud, brash way. Bakugo yelled at Izuku and made him flinch as the words and insults practically hit him. No, he wasn't at school. He wasn't in Aldera. He wasn't surrounded by old classmates and bullies. He was. It wasn't red eyes looking at his face. It was turquoise. He was in the bar. He was with Shigaraki, Dabi, Toga, Twice, Mr. Compress, Magne, Spinner, and Kirigiri. He he drank Kirigiri's tea, played with Shigaraki's hair, slept on Dabi. Compress gave him a marble. Toga called him Izuku and not Deku. Twice spoke in two voices. Spinner asked him about All Might. There, that's where he was. That's what he had to remember, because it was better than the place. It was better he than he where he had been in the past. Like he said, he had been in worse situations than this. All right, that's all for today, and I got a text message and I'm kind of sad at the moment. You know why? Okay, so I have been working on this crochet project. It's a star blanket. It's a pretty star blanket. It's a purple one, and it fades into different colors. And it's so pretty, and I love it. And my mom just texted me, they don't have that yarn. They don't have the yarn I want and need to finish this project. Which means I just pause on this one, switch to my other one, get that one done, so I can give it to my friend. Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be difficult. Okay. We're gonna do this. We are going to do this. But we're gonna do that later, because I am cold. I am freezing. And I don't know why I have this fan blowing on me, but it's there. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing day. Get some sleep. Stay warm, because it is getting chilly outside now. Bundled up in the morning because it's so cold. I immediately woke up and I threw on 2 jackets. How cold I was. Anyways, bundle up, stay warm, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.